Hello everyone, this is Helen H and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope you are all doing terrific today. I wanted to show you a little project that I was working on. I'm working on some junk journals for my shows this winter or this fall, and these particular junk journals that I was working on are just everyday junk journals. They're not December dailies. I do make December dailies, but these are not for the December dailies. So they're all different colors and whatever. But I wanted to show you these cute little paper clip charms that I've made. Now I have done a video about this like probably a million years ago, but I thought I would go ahead because I have so many new people to go ahead and show you again how you make these cute little paper clips. And I'm just going to show you real quick what these little dangles look like. So there you go. Okay, there's that one. I won't show you all of them close up, but this is a double. This is a double one, and this is using two smaller ones. Okay, two smaller paper clips. And then we have this one here. I'm just arbitrarily picking some up. Okay. And then here's another double right here. Right here. Okay, so they're super cute. I love how they look, and you can make every one of them different, and they do use up little scraps of fabric. So let me show you how I make them. I'm just going to move those over here. So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, is pick out some paper clips, whether you want small ones or big ones. You can even use one small one if you have a small journal, like you can just do that part, you know, without doing two. These books are at least 7.5 inches tall, so I wanted, you know, a sizable dangle. So what you'll start with is your paper clips, and you need to put some hardware on them for hanging them on the journal, and then also for the charm. So let's get that started. Now, if you use a coated paper clip like this one, the blue one has that plastic coating on, you might find that it is too difficult to get it through the eyelet of your lobster claw, okay? So it easily will go on a non-coated paper clip like that, okay? But it won't, this lobster claw, the little end won't go on there. It just won't. I've tried. So what you need to do is go ahead and add a jump ring, okay? So that you're going to have a jump ring at the top and a jump ring at the bottom. With the other uncoated ones, you can just have, you'll just have a jump ring at the bottom. Now, I'm saying this, that my jump rings don't fit. Try it, you know, maybe yours do. I don't know if there's different types of jump rings. I'm sure there's different brands or whatever. So, you know, try it first. Don't assume it's not going to fit. But I found that my jump rings did not fit. So I'm going to go ahead and take my jump ring and open it up and put my little jump ring on there, and then close it back up. Okay. And now what you want to do, because the paper clip has to go on the paper, this, you know how a paper clip goes on. You have to go ahead and put it on and then sling it all the way up and around so that your paper clip's facing the right way to actually clip paper. So this loopy, this half moon thingy right here has to be pointing down, because that's how you're going to clip it onto the paper, right? So now all we're going to do is just take a jump ring, and we're going to attach a charm to the bottom. And I don't know where I got these jump rings, but a lot of them are still like all clouded up together here. So I'm going to try find some that are separate. So let's go ahead and put a jump ring at the bottom of each, and this is going to be for our charm. So just go ahead and open your jump ring. Now remember, when you open a jump ring, you need to just open it back to front. You're not going to pull it outwards. You're just going to go back to front. So you put your little charm on it, and then you can just put it to the bottom of your paper clip, and then just close up your jump ring again. Okay. So this one I'm putting this little key on it. And this other one, I'm putting a little, it looks like, I think what it is a little charm from an old, like a vintage necklace or something, like the little pendant or something. But I just thought it was kind of cute, so why not, right? We need to use up the little things in our stash. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and put the jump ring on the bottom and close up like that. Okay, so now I've got my paper clips, and they've got the lobster claw on the top and the charm on the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to put some fabric around. Now, I used to use hot glue for this, but I have moved away from that just because, well, you can use hot glue, but you got to be very careful that you don't use a big glob, because then it's going to leave a big what is it, like it's going to make a pile. What is the word I'm looking at? If you use hot glue, just use a little bit, because you don't want a big knot like under the fabric where your glue is, okay? So, oh wait, this one's going on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead, I just put a little bit of glue on the back of the fabric, and it really doesn't matter if you are going to go front to back or back to front, because I'm telling you, the fabric is actually not going to show that much by the time you get the fiber and everything else on. So if your little seam is in the front, don't worry about it, that's fine. So I just going to go ahead and I'm pinching this glue a little bit, and this is why hot glue is actually better, because it does grab right away. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go ahead, and now I'm just leaving a little part up here so that the lobster claw will move. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap down on the paper clip. I'm just wrapping down. I'm leaving a little tiny bit of an edge, and I'm just going down at an angle down the paper clip, because I do like these to have a little bit of dimension to them. I don't want them all really flat. I want them to have a little bit of dimension. And then when I get to the bottom, so that my two little parts of the paper clip are about equal showing, let me just go around this one more time. Then I'm going to come back up again with the fabric. Now, if your fabric thing is too long or it's getting too chunky, that's fine. Just cut it off and glue it down. Okay. So here's my end here, and coming back up, I really don't mind where it ends. I do want to keep, my top and bottom part of my paper clip showing, so I don't want to go back up over here. But I'm just going to go ahead and close that like that, okay? And I'm going to let that sit for a minute and dry, and I'm going to wipe my fingers, and then I've got a strip of this vintage blue fabric that I thought I'd use for this one. So I'm going to do the same thing. Now, if you're going to do the two smaller paper clips, it's absolutely the same, except before you start wrapping, you're going to attach the two smaller paper clips together with a jump ring in the middle. But everything else is exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave a tiny little bit of the loop showing up here. And I'm just going to glue the fabric like that. And I think if you have Fabri-Tac, that might work. I'm using the Beacon foam board, that adhesive that you get at Dollar Tree, but you could use Fabri-Tac. You can really use any glue at all. If it's a super wet glue, though, you'll want to, wait before you tug on it. I'm actually holding it here right now at the top while I'm pulling to pull the fabric down so I don't undo it. So again, I'm just winding the fabric down my paper clip. And see, this is folded here. I didn't bother ironing it. I mean, I'm not going to get out the iron to iron a little piece of fabric. So I'm just going to undo it, get the wrinkles out as I'm going down. Now, when I get to the bottom where the two loops are equal looking, then I go ahead and start coming back up again. And like I said, the fabric layer, this first layer, not a lot of it's going to show. So, don't worry about perfection here. I mean, you don't want big chunks of fabric and lumpy parts and everything, but don't worry about that it starts and stops on the glue part is, oh my gosh, I can't speak. I just came back from a really good meeting and I'm super excited. But anyway, it doesn't matter if the glue fabric is on this side or this side. It doesn't make any difference because most of it's not going to show. Okay, so there's that one and there's that one. So they're at this point. Now, this one right here and this one right here, are those the only two? This one right here. Okay, these three. If you look at these three, I did these late at night, and I did them, and I realized I didn't put any fiber on them. They are just the fabric with the wire and the beads over them. This is actually ribbon that I used on this one. It is a yellowish ribbon. But that's fine. I mean, if you don't want the fiber on it, you don't have to put the fiber on it. I think the fiber is super, super cute, so that's why I like to put it on. So I've got my little fiber box right here. I'm done with those. I'm done with all those tools, and I'm almost done with that. So I've got my little fiber box here. So let me move these up here, and let's go ahead and pick some fiber that we're going to use for these two. And this is just a mess. Well, it's not that much. I mean, it is kind of a mess. Let's see here. So I've got this boho blue one. And you can mix up the colors if you want. You know, that's totally up to you. This one has some green on it, but not that color green. Let's see here. I kind of have these in here. I'm supposed to have these in here. Okay, now this is a variegated. Let me see. Can I get this off here? Where does this start? Am I going to really have to take the whole thing off to find? Look, this is one of these variegated ones. I'm going to use that on this boho looking one. And this one right here. All right, let's use this fuzzy one right here. Okay. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so I have a little bit of elbow room. Okay, now I'm not going to need this much thread. I just pulled it off because I had to find the ends. So again, with the fiber, you're basically doing the exact same thing you did with the fabric, except you're not going to, you know, cover the whole thing. You're going to leave some little gaps. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the back of my fabric there, and I'm going to take my fiber and stick it in that glue. And I'm going to hold it. See how I'm holding it with this finger, and I'm just going to pull it down like this, but see how I'm leaving a gap in between? I'm not doing it like the fabric where it was completely covered. I'm just coming down like this, coming down like this. And then if you want, you can go ahead and come back up again, and I think I will. I'll make a big chunky one. Come right back up like this, and then cut it off and glue it down. So I'm going to just trim that off there. See how much? I mean, it didn't take that much. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put a little more glue here. And if you want, if you're like going to mass make these or make several for different journals, what you can do while you're waiting for to work on one, you can just grab, what happened here? Where did this come from? Oh, that's this side. Okay. Oh, wait, that was my original side. Oh, that's a little bit long. I'm going to just trim that off. Okay. Put that there. You can always just use a clip and clip that down to dry while you're working on your other one. Okay. So I said I was going to use this darker green trim on this one. So let's pull that out. This kind of reminds me of chenille. And I'll just go ahead and cut off a little piece here. And we'll see if that's going to work. I'm sure it's going to be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue right at the top. And like I said, if you use hot glue, that's fine, but just don't put big globs on it because it just makes it too bulky. Too bulky. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that, and then I'm going to wrap it down like this so the fabric shows through. You want to see the fabric, and then you can come back up. Now, if you only want to go down because you think, well, coming back up is hiding too much of the fabric, you can do that too. You can just go one way. That's fine. Matter of fact, I'm sure I've done that before, maybe even the last video I made. So I'm just going to put another little dot of glue here. Okay. Put that there, and let me see if I can grab one more of my little clips here. Of course, they're the farthest place to reach, and I'm just going to put that there. And that's just holding the fiber down while the glue dries. I'm not sure if Fabri-Tac dries quicker than this glue, But anyway, so, okay, so there we are. Now, the only other thing we need to do at this point is get the fluff off my fingers, is to pick some beads and put some wiring on. So let me put my fibers down out of my way to give me some room, more elbow room. Oh my gosh, you should see my floor. It's a disaster. Well, I'm glad you can't see my floor, actually. Okay, I've got this bag of beads here, and I have this little box of beads. Now, this is not by any means my bead collection. This is like 1/1,000,000th of my bead collection because I can't help buying beads at thrift shops. I don't know why. All right, so now for this part, to do the wiring, see how the wiring and the beads goes around? You want to use a wire that is a small gauge and that you can bend with your hands. You don't necessarily want to use a tool. If you use a tool for this, it might be a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip off an amount of wire. I'm guessing that might be about 7 or 8 inches maybe. So before I get started though, what I want to do is pick my beads. So let's look at this one right here. And this is, you could fit 2 small beads on this one. And I see a real shiny little peacock looking colored bead. And then I also saw in here, this bag here I got at the thrift shop, it is just a hodgepodge of different beads. And there's a purple bead. So we've kind of got the blue, the turquoise and the purple going, so let's do that. So what I'm going to do here with the wire, at the very end, I'm going to make a little knot like, or a little thing like that. See how it's, can you see that? I just put a bend in it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, on the back, I'm going to put that little bend down like that. You see how I have it laying so that the little bend part is down, laying, pointing to the bottom of the paper clip. Then I'm going to just come around and I'm going to catch it. See right there when I wound around, and right there, I'm catching it with the wire. So when I get to about here, I'm going to go ahead and put on a bead. All right. Like that. And you make sure your beads are all on the front, all like on the front. You know, you don't want one on the back. Well, I guess you could have one on the front and one in the back. Then both sides would be decorated. Okay, and there's my purple one. And then I'm just going to wind it around a little bit more. Okay, now here's the part that's a little bit tricky for me to explain. You've got this end of this wire, okay? And all I really do with that part, I don't want anyone to stab themselves with this part right here. But it does need to be secured a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take my pliers and I'm going to work it up through the wire that's already down. Like I'm pushing it up underneath the wire that's already there. And it kind of will just go behind the fabric. And I'll show you once again when I do that. And there, that's it. That bead is now finished, or that little dangle is finished. Isn't that cute? So let's just do this one real quick. With the wire, like I said, you kind of just finagle it, but it's not hard, especially if you use a wire. Now, I looked on the label here. It doesn't say what gauge. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, I apologize. This is 26 gauge, and this is perfect. I mean, I love this wire because it's so easy to use my hands. When you're working with something this small, it's kind of cumbersome to have to use tools, but if that's all you have, that's all you have. So remember, the first thing I do is I make a little bend in the wire like that. And I point that down to the bottom of the paper clip. And I'm just going to come around and catch it and catch it. And see how it's underneath the wire I'm wrapping around. That's kind of what we're doing at the end too, but we're manipulating it a little bit more. Oh, you know what? I didn't pick beads for this one. So let's go ahead and see what we got in here. And you can use, you could use, okay, let's use this. Let's go for one bead, but we're going to use this big, long bead. All right, let's put that on. It doesn't matter what you put on. So let's go ahead and put that on. Let's see if we can get that there. All right. You know what? No, I don't like that. That's too big. It is too big. I'm sorry. You know, you can play with your beads and see what you have, and this one's a little more reasonable. Here, this one's a little bit smaller. That one was just a little bit, I got a little bit excited with that one. Okay, so see, I'm just using this one here. Okay, so same thing. So I've got the bead on now, so I'm just gonna wrap, unwrap, and wrap. Now I have extra wire here. Now I can either cut it off and shove it through, or I can bring it up again. See how I'm bringing it back up again and bring it to the back. And then I can take my plier here in the back and just go ahead and shove this up through. Let's see, where is my wire here? Just have it, shove it up through the wire in the back. And kind of pinch it if you can so it gets caught. And there's that one right there. So that's it, guys. Super easy, but they're fun little dangles to make. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you give them a try, because sky's the limit. And like I said, you can use up little bits of fabric, you can use up beads, you can make them exactly what you need, charm-wise, color-wise, whatever, for the projects that you're using or that you're making. They're really, you know, what you do with them is unlimited, right? Okay, I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.